Hey peeps, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk about One Piece chapter 857, Rook. Now this chapter was actually pretty fun. I very much enjoyed it. Finding out about Capone was definitely a highlight, and then just getting the gang back together and deciding what we're gonna do next. And also Jinbei was a pretty strong presence here. I like his humor style, his gag style, where he's so serious and he's just assuming things as he's talking in the most serious fashion, like associating himself with Brule and the other guy, and making it seem like they're part of the plan. Overall, Jinbei, I love when we have him in the crew dynamics, and this chapter was full of those nice little moments, especially when he was talking about how he knew that Luffy would make a certain move depending on what he told him. Overall, really good. Anyways, the meat of this chapter is really, the Straw Hats reconciling with Sanji, and also finding out about Capone and finding out about West Blue. See, when we moved into the New World and the Grand Line, all those stories that happened in the other seas, we couldn't see them. We weren't going to see them. We could only learn about whatever was going on in the other oceans based on what characters were being introduced and what backstories they could tell us. And we knew that the East Blue was like the most peaceful sea. So when you have this situation and you're finding out about 5 big families that ran the underworld in West Blue, and finding out that Capone was particularly dangerous and that he was getting screwed over because people hated him, it's just like, wow, cool, that's really cool. Man, can you imagine how different things would have been if Luffy started off in that ocean? It would have been Luffy dealing with organized crime. And we got that in Grand Line, we had that with Crocodile, but when you look at that seems way more controlled, it seems way more prevalent in the West Blue, and we know West Blue is technically a bit more dangerous than East Blue. But regardless, it just turns into this thing of, yeah, wow, we dodged a bullet with that one. It would have been really interesting to see, or to just think about how different the Straw Hats would have been if they were situated in the West Blue, and what kind of trials and tribulations they would have to go through in there. Yeah, it would have turned from just dealing with the one-off villains like Buggy and Alvida into like dealing with guys who had connections, where you take down one member and then the other families come in because the power vacuum. Man, the West Blue would have been destruction every day. But regardless, finding out about that was pretty cool. It's interesting how Oda chose to go about with giving us this characterization for Capone, because at the end of the day, Capone isn't one of the most likable characters. I hope he doesn't get redeemed. I like that he sticks to his just general, I'm a mafia boss, I just do whatever I want, I screw people over when I can. I hope he maintains that characterization, because there's nothing wrong with having a legitimately bad pirate in the group of the worst generation, right? Anyway, Capone, cool stuff. Ultimately, Jinbei's pushing for an alliance. That's very interesting. Naturally, it's the tactical advantage. Capone's been setting things up for a long time. If there's someone who kind of has a similar goal to you, it'd be better to work with them rather than, not work with them. And I'm very interested in the possibility of a Luffy versus Capone skirmish. Just like Luffy says something stupid and they have like a mini fight, like maybe 5 pages of a conflict. And also, I kind of want to see Capone get kicked in the face by Sanji. That's just it's just a little thing I want to see on the side. Capone's defenses are really built up to be like this big deal, and his wariness and his defenses are what give him value and all that. I'd love to see Sanji just breaking steel and breaking this guy's face. Why? Because Capone's a dick in general, and overall, I don't think anything would be lost if we had that moment. Ultimately, it'd be pretty cool if we got that. Capone is a very interesting aspect to have in this, and now this is more closely reflecting Dressrosa. Because when we went into this arc with our crew members of Brook, Nami, and Chopper, we knew what was happening on a meta sense. This was Oda giving the spotlight to the characters who could not really appear in the last arc. The last arc also now featured 2 supernovas teaming up to take down the big enemy. Now this time, it's Luffy and Capone. So it's again reflecting that arc. So Oda's keeping it kind of simple here in terms of narrative. But because this is a Yonko, it'll actually be really interesting to see to what scale is this going to go. Are things actually going to work out as well as they are? Probably not. The Straw Hats run on serendipity. The Straw Hats' victories are closely associated to how lucky they can get. And the Straw Hats have gotten really lucky in this arc. Like having the mirror user, having Brûlé around is the biggest tactical advantage anyone could have ever have asked for, because that gives them free reign to go anywhere, wherever. Other aspects like Brook actually being skilled enough, that was, you know, it's not serendipity based. That's just more like they needed to reach, or they needed to be at the certain skill level to actually take advantage of all the good fortune that they could have had coming their way. So, you know, in some areas it's still based on the character's skill, but overall what's holding it all together is just the good luck that the Straw Hats are usually blessed with. Of course, in story we call it luck, but out of story we all know this is just the movements of the plot that ultimately protect the Straw Hats. Anyway, not the point. Let's talk about the smaller character moments. You know, the whole interactions with Sanji and his crew, when the crew decides that, yeah, okay, we just have to like destroy the wedding, save Sanji's family, and he's back with us. Yeah, that's it. You know, no one was really cowardly in that moment, and that was a really beautiful moment. That was pretty awesome. That everyone just got happy when they knew they could get Sanji back if they just did so and so. And also finding out the voting process and Nami telling Sanji she'll never forgive him, but she'll put it aside for now, and him thinking it's a proposal. All the little shenanigans were just really fun to watch. I mentioned Jinbei at the beginning with his little gags, and that was fun to watch as well. Overall, from a viewer or from a reader's perspective, I really think this was a really good episode of One Piece. Whoa, geez, not episode. A really good manga chapter of One Piece. I really enjoyed it. You know, this is the chapter where emotions are coming out and everyone's happy. People are getting praised for being so awesome. And now we're just like, yeah, now we have an ally that we can go to and try to mess things up tomorrow. So, you know, as we go into the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty excited. I just hope we get to the Big Mom wedding day really quickly, because it's getting hyped up. We find out that there's a lot of strong people coming, and we now are going to go see Capone and see what's going on. But I really just want to see how this is all going to go down. I'm pretty excited. How are people going to get saved? Is Reiju going to be saved? Is someone in the Vinsmoke family going to get kicked in the face? Oh, please. You know, I'd be even okay if Sanji, just when he wanted to shut his dad up, if he just kicked him right in the face just once to prove that he was stronger. I'd be totally okay with that. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. You know, Yonji has already been punished. I don't really care about Yonji. It's the other two brothers too. They need to get some hits. Okay, yeah. So guys, I really enjoyed the chapter. What about you? What did you enjoy about the chapter? Are you happy that we're finally going places, that a plan is starting to come together, the Straw Hats are falling into a plan? Let me know down below. And until next time, I hope you have a great day.